This is outrageous. This is preposterous. This is asinine, absurd, backwards, and wrong. Yet, it's vintage. Someone named Nick Sirianni, who's apparently the new head coach of the Philadelphia Eagles, gave another overmatched, can't-make-it-up press conference and confirmed the Philadelphia Eagles have no chance. Zero, zip, none. He refused to name Jalen Hurts as the starting quarterback? Guys, haven't we been here before in Philly, last year? Like forever? You don't create drama in that city at quarterback. Jalen Hurts is your quarterback. Why are we playing games? Why are we putting undue pressure and, frankly, stupidity on this situation? Forget Carson Wentz versus Hurts. Carson's gone. Okay, that's in the past. Please, just give Jalen Hurts a chance. He has so much potential as a thrower, as a runner. Jalen Hurts is so smart. He's a great leader. Give him a chance to lead. You aren't drafting a quarterback. Support him. Draft a receiver. I mean, what are you going to do? Play Joe Flacco? You're going to play Jaws? Randall Cunningham? I mean, this is insane. And Nick Sirianni was just getting warmed up with his insanity. Rock, paper, scissors. Rock, paper, scissors to determine competitiveness. Is this real life? Is this an SNL skit? I mean, have the Eagles fans been punked? This is insane. How did Sirianni get hired in the first place? And that was the first guess. Wow. So we have the introductory press conference where he couldn't speak, and now he throws cold water on his quarterback and reveals that this is part of the draft process. Rock, paper, scissors, part of the evaluation process. By the way, I always throw paper. Always throw paper first. You have to understand, there's a method to the madness. Rock is always people's go-to here, okay? Paper beats rock. I don't make the rules. I just play by the rules. I also apparently wouldn't get drafted by the Philadelphia Eagles. You poor, poor people of Philadelphia. Dave Gettleman, still employed, and that should make Giants fans very nervous. Gettleman's top draft picks in 3 drafts with the Giants have been awful. A running back at number 2 in 2018, that violates everything. It was an easy first guess, made no sense. Giants haven't made the playoffs with Saquon Barkley. Let's be honest, that was always foolish. Daniel Jones was a reach. Baker's no longer on the team. And go ask the Bucs and the Browns and the Jets if they were smiling as you saw Gettleman take the wrong tackle at 4 when he had his pick of any offensive tackle in the draft. And soon after Dave Gettleman spoke to the media yesterday, our good friend Ian Rappaport over at the NFL Network reported that Gettleman would entertain the idea of trading down. And this counts as news because Gettleman has been a general manager for 8 years combined. Carolina and New York has never traded down in round number 1. Gettleman, you heard him right there, wants to keep surrounding Daniel Jones with talent, and that's smart. Problem is, of course, Daniel Jones isn't any good. Now, let's combine a host of topics here. Gettleman does deserve credit for Kenny Golladay and Adoree Jackson. I thought he had a great free agency period. The Giants are no longer desperate as a result in terms of drafting a wide receiver, though I think picking either Jalen Waddle or Devontae Smith would be dreamy for the Giants because they're Bama star receivers and they're big-time prospects. I love them both in isolation, and Joe Judge and the Giants staff have great Bama connections. Now, a trade down here, take a look at the board, makes sense. Maybe, I don't know, Bill Belichick wants to trade up for one of those aforementioned receivers coached by his good friend Nick Saban. But does Gettleman care about 2022 picks? Is he GMing for his job, if you will? Would defense be smarter, or is he still trying to justify Daniel Jones? One mistake leads to another mistake and leads to another mistake. And by the way, Giants fans, don't let last year fool you, okay? The Giants aren't close to being good. And to bring it all full circle, I blame Dave Gettleman. James Harden had a major setback with his rehab, and he's out indefinitely. This is a rather big deal. In fact, the Nets head coach Steve Nash said that Brooklyn is back to square one when it comes to Harden rehabbing his hamstring. That's not what you want to hear if you're a diehard Nets fan, as Harden has been simply sensational in Brooklyn since he forced his way out of Houston. And now you have to wonder aloud, based upon the old calendar, if we're ever going to see the Brooklyn Big Three together before the playoffs. Chemistry matters. Winning matters. KD, Kyrie, Harden, they're going to have to go through the learning curve on center stage in the postseason, which is hardly ideal. Now, the upside for Brooklyn is still to win big and go to the NBA Finals, if not win a championship, because these three are, in fact, dynamic players. But, you know, they've played 7 games together. And understand, when we talk about dynamic players, Kyrie belongs in that category. Brilliant on offense. One of the best finishers in the entire league. And just dynamic and diverse, too. And it was on display. He did it all, Kyrie did, leading Brooklyn to a win over Zion and the Pelicans last night. But it's not going to be that simple come playoff time, especially if the Nets don't get the 1 seed. Look, not getting the 1 seed is a big deal in isolation, but also because Brooklyn and Philly, they're not only fighting for the 1, they're fighting to make sure they stay away from the Milwaukee Bucks in the second round. You know, maybe this is karma or the sports gods smiling. Harden was out of shape in Houston and didn't care about the Rockets and forced his way out. The Nets don't play to win in the regular season, and now Harden is back to the beginning of rehab for his injury. Things just got real sticky for the Brooklyn Nets.